How's it going, everybody? I have filmed this probably 5 or 6 times, and each time it just hasn't felt right. So I'm going to try and keep this brief. 10 minutes is my target. If you can stay with me 10 minutes, I'm going to show you everything that I love about this new The One Ring version of the role-playing game. It is a remake. I think it's like the second edition, put up by Free League. It was a Kickstarter. I got all my Kickstarter stuff. I'm going to show you what I got, and we're going to let you make your own decisions about whether it's worth it for you to pick it up. We're going to start off with the main book. Everything about this is beautiful, in my opinion. The cover is a nice, like, linen type cover. It's beautiful. It's got this nice matte covering to it. You do have a ribbon bookmark built into it. Let's go ahead and open it up. I'm not going to show you everything about it, but opening it up, you have this, just everything. Again, everything about this is beautiful. You're going to hear me use the word beautiful several times. You might even want to turn it into a drinking game, although that might be a little dangerous. Beautiful map on the inside. It's got this like tanning on the paper around the edge. Once you get into the main pages, it's just got a nice texture. It's not a glossy paper, it's a nice matte paper. It is nice and durable. It just has a good feel in the hands, and everything in the book has this beautiful red scroll work to it. The pages are not white, in case you can pick that up. It's almost got like a tan to it, and it really makes that red pop, but beautifully laid out. Each chapter has these 2-page splashes of just amazing artwork in there to really get you into the feel of things. The opening letter by Gandalf right here. Now I have the D20 version of The One Ring, and me and my friends have played that quite a bit. Went through a couple campaigns, maybe because we played D&D, and I saw this come up for Kickstarter, and I just had to pick it up because I love seeing new role-playing games and new systems. This one seems pretty intriguing, and it's spread throughout the book. Let me get you a little bit closer on this. You're going to have these just gorgeous illustrations. I'm trying to think of other words besides beautiful. With the panel lining along the side, structure of the game. And again, we go into the next chapter. You got the 3 trolls here that have been turned to stone while the starting of the fellowship is moving up. Making your rolls. The game, you can use your ordinary D12s and D6s. They do sell dice sets separately that you can pick up that have their own special symbols for it. You're always going to be rolling the D12, and then you get to roll D6s based on your stats and skills. And basically, you're trying to hit a particular target number. So you're going to add everything up that's shown on the dice, and that's going to be your total, and you have to see if you beat your target number. And then you have different degrees of success, and then if special symbols pop up, you get special benefits or detriments. But it's a very simple system to use, particularly as a GM. It's all about telling the story, and the games, I love how it breaks down the character sheet and where everything is at on that character sheet. And again, the next chapter, the adventures themselves, you've got just this breathtaking illustration. You got Gimli, Aragorn, Legolas, hobbits down here, just making their way through the world. And each chapter starts with a dark illustration. I don't think there's a particularly bright illustration. It really adds to, there's darkness all over. The Eye of Sauron is out there. There are dark forces moving. Everything you do, there's that back tone of dire. There's that shadow moving around. There are no bright illustrations for the start of the chapters that I've seen. It goes through the different cultures. Again, more just gorgeous illustrations. You're going to be able to choose from Bardings, Dwarves of Durin's Folk, the Elves of Lindon, Hobbits of the Shire, Men of Bree, Rangers of the North. And then you go into your callings. Basically, for lack of a better term, like your backgrounds or your abilities. Weapon sheets. I'm just going to skip through because, again, I want to try and keep this to 10 minutes. Again, it's just beautiful illustrations. The book is beautifully done. It looks to be a really fun system. It gives you actually a good bit of lore in here as well as you're going through the phases. You have the fellowship phase and the adventuring phase. And it breaks it down so that you have those moments where you are out questing. And then when you're done with that, you can basically choose who you would like to go do, your downtime activities, and those are kind of like a montage off the screen type thing. They do the same thing if you've played the D20 version. Your adversaries. And it goes into some adversaries, pardon me, that you might not notice from... There were, so like it touches on undead, and you see hints and wisps of them in the movies, but you never really get to see anything about them outside of that, unless you've read a lot of the lore. You've got the evil men. It basically just walks you through everything, and then here's your appendix, patrons, and how you work with those, and how you can call upon your patron. And then at the very back, just this gorgeous character sheet. You can print this up. And then on the other side of that for the GM is how to plot the adventures. And you have a small little hex so you can create your map, what sort of events you're going to run your characters through. In the very back, you have this lovely detailed hex map with legends of what's free lands, wild lands, dark lands, impassable terrain, and then perilous areas. That is the main book. I was hoping it would have the MSRP here on the back, because again, I Kickstarted it. I Kickstarted it so long ago, I can't even begin to tell you how much I paid for it. And then there was the GM screen. Now, the GM screen, let me unfold this, if you just bear with me. It's a 3-panel GM screen. As you can see, it's pretty thick, it's pretty durable, and it just has they're facing down. And again, most of the artwork is going to be very shadowed, very dark. You have the swarm of orcs or urkai here, and the forces of light, and the small gleaming. But for the lore masters, the GMs, the game masters, it gives you all the information that you need to run your game. Journey rules, marching tests, event tables, sources of shadow, misdeeds, first aid, complications, advantages. And if I remember correctly, the GM screen came with the One Ring Rivendell book. Now, if this looks a little plain, that's because it is. This is very reminiscent of how role-playing games were when I started looking at them, back in 80s, early 90s. Is particularly the one thing that sticks out in my mind is the old Doctor Who role-playing game. Like they looked like this. It was very plain. You had the one design. However, there is a faint marbling to this blue, but the One Ring, this Rivendell attachment, you'll notice elves weren't really prevalent as playable, but this gives you all the information. Eliden, Euron, High Elves of Rivendell, as characteristics, attributes, and how to play them. And then virtues of the High Elves. So just a small little thing, gives you some information about the elves with the GM screen. But I've already shown you the dice. They are sending out replacements for those. The one thing that I think everyone should pick up, though, even if you're not going to grab the main book, is the starter set. I am a big fan of starter sets because they are a low-cost, a very economical way of trying out a role-playing game. Inside the box lid is a GM screen. Look at that. That's amazing. So just starting off, you can have this sitting up here while you're running your game, or off to the side. In here, you're going to get your games catalog. You've got a deck of cards, which are on a glossed linen cardstock. Still very durable. It gives you the amazing pencil line work, artwork. And again, it's got that ivory or cream. It's an off-white color with the red lining around, just like you see in the core book. With all the information and stats on the other side. And you do get duplicates of some of them just because some are going to be fairly prevalent. Nice stack of those. You get a starter set pack of dice. You'll notice that it is the same amount of dice that you can buy separately. However, these are the lighter with the red. I think these are easier to read, so another reason to pick up the starter set. Where are my item cards? I've already gone through this just because I couldn't wait. Now, when you are camping, you can like choose different roles when you're moving through the world, such as hunter, guide, scout, lookout, and you can basically set that up so it's a reminder for what you're going to be doing. And then on the back, you have open, forward, defensive, rearward, different combat aspects as reminders, or I mean, you just use them as a coaster. Please don't do that. But it's really handy that they give you all of this stuff for quick reference for the players and the GM. You can start running one ring right out of this box. Try it out, see if you like it. It's chock full of just wonder and amazement. Like down here, this map, I have to get this framed. Like my camera can't even do it all justice. The Shire. Full map of the Shire. Fully detailed, beautifully illustrated. I wish it wasn't folded. I'm going to see if I can iron this out because I want to get that folded. Framed. I can't even speak. I'm just so in awe of this starter set. Map of Eriador. And like, look at all these little bubble illustrations and the side work. I mean, this box set is a labor of love, the starter set. I mean, they knocked it out of the park. Let's get some of this out. On the bottom of the box, it's going to have a small map of the Shire, so you can use this as a rolling tray, or you can use this as a player handout. Then we're going to have some characters for you to use. And they're all going to be hobbits because the starter set takes place in the Shire. So we got Drogo Baggins with all of your stats. And it's a very minimalistic character sheet. Like, you don't have a whole lot of stuff going on here. It's very easy to read. It's a very inviting system to try and get people into. Esmeralda Took. Let's just go through some of these really quick. We got Bilbo Baggins, Balin, son of Fundin. You've got Brandy Buck, another Brandy Buck, Paladin Took the second, and a Brace Girdle. And then you do get your 3 books. You'll notice that these look very similar to the Rivendell book. They went very minimalistic. It's captured that classic role-playing game feel. You've got your adventures in here. And they did not skip on the art in here either. Just as breathtaking as the core book. So what you see in here is, it's going to whet your appetite for the core book and the setting. And then you've got your rules. This is basically a trimmed down version of what's going to be going on. You had that example of play, action resolution, characteristics. And you'll notice some of the same art from the core book. And then you have this. Thicker than the previous ones, the Shire. This is everything that you will need. Brief history, geography of the Shire, full map in there. The West Farthings, it breaks it down by section. I'm probably going to be going beyond my 10 minutes. I'm probably going to be approaching 20. I apologize, but there's no way I can break a video down about all these unless I do separate videos, but I feel like it all needs to be paired together. I'm not going to go into full gameplay. I just wanted to show you how amazing this is. If you are going to grab one thing, definitely make sure you try and get with your local game store and grab the starter set. It's worth the price of admission with everything that you get in there. This will give you weekends, probably months, maybe even a year plus of just gaming, depending on what your schedules are and how far you want to take this starter set. But it is, this is an A1 winner right here. But with everything else combined, I mean, this version of the One Ring, it's just beautiful to have. It looks like it's going to be a fun, intuitive system. It should be fun and easy to get people into role-playing. I know I'm pretty biased in this. I am a Lord of the Rings fan. It was one of the first fantasy books I read. I was in high school when someone said, "Hey, Matt, have you read The Hobbit?" I said, "No, what's that about?" "Oh, well," and they started explaining it to me. I was like, "Well, I'll do that as one of my book reports." And that was my freshman year in high school. My teacher let me, and she loved the report. I loved the book. I went out and got the Lord of the Rings books, the trilogy. Loved those. They were a little hard to follow because they jump around in timeline. Everything is happening at the same time, but it gets a little, if you've read it, you understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't read them yet, be prepared. The timeline does jump around a little bit because it'll follow one group and then it'll come back and then follow the other group. That's what I remember anyway. But this book is one of the most gorgeous books. Even if I never run the game, I'm glad I have this. This is the sort of book that you just want to own it. But make sure that you grab everything here. If you want to have Rivendell, make sure you grab the DM screen. Make sure you grab the One Ring starter set. It's got so much in it. Beautiful, gorgeous. You should definitely pick this up. This is one of those products that no one should miss out on. Hopefully, taking a look at this gave you some information. Maybe it helps you make a decision whether you're going to pick it up or not. But, you know, if you love role-playing games, if you're thinking about the Lord of the Rings and what should you do, you can't go wrong with this. And if you just love books, just go ahead and grab this. Even if you're not interested in the game, this might get you interested in the game. Just having this for the artwork and the construction and the layout, it's worth it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble quite a bit. I hope you found this helpful and or entertaining. Please like, and you don't have to subscribe. I do these for the fun of it. But, you know, leave me a comment or a thumbs up. Let me know if this was helpful, or if you'd like to see me try and grab a hold of something else and take a look at that and give you my opinion of it. You all take it easy. Stay safe out there.